here now, in this time, in this place, the most relevant and necessary time and place. As you land, feel, begin to understand where you are and what is happening around you.
So I've been traveling in a sphere that is just like a big circle, clear, and it just opened, like the top half lifted off. So I've been seeing all the things that you described, and I landed, like I feel like I'm landing on ground, and it opened up, and yeah, I know I'm here. I'm seeing. I know I'm where I was meant to be. Right now, I'm seeing, people greeting me and smiling, and they're happy that I'm here, and I just easily float out of this sphere, and I'm standing, not really standing, I'm kind of hovering. And I notice they're all kind of hovering also. They're not really like on the ground, but there's like a buffer of energy around us. But yeah, so
Can you describe them a bit and like your surroundings?
yeah, so I'm seeing mountains. Like I'm in like a mountain range, and they're kind of surrounding me. It looks like something you might see on Earth, but really resplendent and really clear and beautiful. There's a lake there, and the mountain is there, and the sun is shining, and it's all very peaceful, and it's very beautiful. And there are some, like, the beings that are with me there. I don't see really facial features. I can make out eyes. Like, I connect with the eyes, and I see that they're warm. I see the love coming out from the eyes, and I don't have they're communicating like telepathically. They're not like speaking words. They're just it's thoughts. They're welcoming. They're saying, welcome. We've been expecting you. We're happy for your arrival. And they're just inviting me to come out and to be with them. And so we're kind of moving, not really walking, but we're moving there's a structure more at the base of the mountain. And they're telling, this is a special place. This is a highly energetic portal, but it's okay because I'm in spirit body, so I can easily assimilate the energy that's here. So they're they're communicating to me that there's all this wealth of information, and it's all available, and that they want to know what the most specific thing that I want to know, because there's so much for them to draw on.
Okay, so what if we talk a little bit about how this experiment got started, this experiment of Earth and humans and all of that.
Oh, they like that word. And also the images have shifted, and now I'm seeing that they're wearing like robes, and I too am wearing something that, like, it looks like an old, what you might see in an old Bible picture, with like Jesus with his robes, and Mary Magdalene and hers and stuff. So I'm sitting on the ground. There's people, they are in chairs, and so they like the term, they like this experiment. And so how did it get started? They're just saying that there was so much that, how did it get started? That's such a big question. It was a decision that was made that there had to be that contrast. There had to be just to continue, for life to continue to expand, because when everything is already like beauty and perfection, and but really nothing has really challenged that, because they wanted to establish this place where there was free will, where there was the opportunity to choose against love and light if you wanted to, and experience the ramifications, and then to see where that would take you. And the reason for the experiment was to expand everything, so that there was, so we could really learn from firsthand experience, and just to see, like, if you choose to forget that you are part of the whole, that everything is one, and you choose to forget that and pretend that you're all separate, and then recognize that these things you can actually hurt another. You are still hurting yourself, but you do have that free will to do that, even though it's all you, like, even in our bodies, there's when there's a disorder, like a cancer, then the so the blood cells can turn on themselves and turn on healthy ones, and create like disease, disorder. And that also is happening, like, in the on the planet where that is happening, where there's has been a lot of, for as long as the planet has been here, as long as the planet, there has been people, there have been, wars and fighting, and even from, the earliest days when you're throwing sticks at each other, that's been going on, because the experiment was really almost like, how long would it take, what would it take for when we were basically, we were just animals, we were like beasts with just, you know and then they introduced spirituality into the mindset, and just to see, like, what would happen. And what happened was, as we had intellect, we had, all these resources, and but yet still there was such it was so ego driven, that people made decisions based on what served them rather than what served the whole. So it's taking so long, but there have always been like small pockets of time where people recognize that we were all whole, and were interested in being of service and loving each other. But then each time it ended up being thrown out of whack, and it's like starting again. But yet we're all coming to it with memories of these past things. So addressing that question, why did it happen? It happened so we could experience all aspects of ourselves, so we could truly learn, and we could, because it's not just us we've incarnated as humans, but there are all these other lifetimes that we've had, and there's all these other life forms of the angels, the ascended masters, and they're all like in spirit. And they're like, we have been endowed with these God qualities that haven't really used them. So it's like we have the opportunity once again with all the assistances coming to the planet. So the why was really, why not? Why not create this planet and see what happens and see what other beings from other planets who wanted to come and experience this life also, and what would it be like? Why it was really just part of it. It was an exploration. It was just for fun when you have all eternity, when there's no end to the now. So let's experience all aspects of it, full range, the polarity of having everything and wonderful and peaceful and beautiful and being completely love, and at the opposite of that. And what would happen? This this experiment is a good idea, a good name for it, a good, like, it was like it is ongoing, like an experiment, like you could compare it, what happens if I put a mouse in this maze? How is it going to react to all these things? Or what if I put a frog there? What's going to happen? So it's watching all the different life forms also, and how they are coming to terms with all that's happening on life, and some life forms are opting out, and some people are opting out. And there's also the element, the light and the dark, and the where are people going to want to, it is to sit and watch as if you were sitting and watching a show, or like I don't know, football game, or something, some sort of in the sports arena, and just watching these people, and they're seemingly pitted against each other, but they're not really. They're like, after the game, they're like patting themselves, each other on there's that camaraderie there, which is what will be experienced when those who are pitted against this game, when they leave the planet, when they go back they come into the afterlife, as is called, and they recognize that they were playing a game. Is this making sense? Is this
Yeah, and can we take it a step further? Like, well, first off, what I want to do is just take you a little deeper. And now it's time to go deeper, feeling relaxed. Breathe, feeling twice relaxed. Deep breathe, and now feeling even more relaxed. Breathe, letting go of any remaining tension and etc. And I want to ask you as well, is your higher self present at the moment, or has the higher self been present?
I did have Jesus there, and my higher self, yes, is very much with me, always,
Hmm.
always.
Okay. Okay. So,
Uh,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, and is yeah, right here, right here.
So, what would you say, as far as like as we continue to proceed forward with the experiment, is do they feel, does your higher self, do these beings that are present currently feel like we are on, are we exactly right on time? Are we proceeding forward exactly as the plan has been? Or what could you tell us about that, and based on the experiment and where we're at currently?
It's coming to a climax. It is reaching that point, and we're seeing this in the planetary alignment. We're seeing with the eclipses and all everything that's happening all around us that is impacting the energy on the earth as well. It is definitely coming to a head. So yes, everything is on track because everything is always in divine timing. And it's still fascinating to see, although so many people are coming to these conclusions now, and they're the, there's been so much with the internet, so much coming through, and so much is crumbling, and so much that has been covered up is is being uncovered, and these truths are coming to light. And people are beginning to realize that they too have been distracted by all these games, these like all these distractions. Focus on, you know, entertainment, the entertainment field, and people are beginning to realize, and because of the technology and the leaps and strides that that has made, it's reaching out to more and more and more and more people.
Was that
So
all
it is
part of
it
the
is like a
experiment? Yeah.
swell. It is a swell. It was because this was all anticipated from our level. It, it's experiment that has a cold feeling to it. It's not. It wasn't like a cold, calculated thing. It was just. And it wasn't just let's do this and see what happens and see if anybody survives it. It wasn't really that. It was just, but it was just, yes, wanting to experience all facets of life, and over time this has shifted, and people are they're coming as the collective is ascending, and as the earth is ascending, as everything is, people are operating from a higher level. Even speaking in terms of chakras, they're operating more from their heart level, and this will continue. And as more people are opening up and recognizing and shifting, making that raising and heightening that energy and quickening that energy, it is happening. It's just like everything is in divine time, and there's nothing to worry about, but to be aware, that to keep focused on the outcome that you wish for. This is also the experiment in how almost how long it would take for people to realize and to make the correlation between what they're thinking and what they're experiencing, and then to then realize how the true experiment is like to come into their own God self, to recognizing that they are God, they're part of the whole, they've got everything, each of us. And so with all these distractions, how long will it take people to recognize that they are creating it all in their third eye, and that they can create exactly what they want to achieve? So then it's like imagine if you were like you're training to be a policeman, and you're like you have your weapon, and there's all these things that pop up, like here's a thief trying to, to rob a bank, and that'll just be a pop-up that's there. And then there's a mother pushing her carriage, so you can't shoot at that. You could shoot, all these sort of distractions popping up all over the place, and then having the discernment to recognize what to really pay attention to, And what is just there is a distraction that's just going to take your time and energy, and is happy to do so, because anything that has a life of its own. It is a life form of sorts, and it wants that energy. It's feeding from that energy that it's receiving as you're focusing on it. So if you're focusing on something that really isn't real and you're giving it all your time and energy, I mean, it is real in a sense, in that it's like continuing to take your thoughts, your power. You're giving your power to all these things, but where you really want to be giving your power is to your own heart, your own creative ability to create this this beautiful 5D that we've all been talking about, this new earth, this utopia where everything is beautiful and clear, and the air and the water is clear, and the people and the animals are happy and respectful, and connecting with each other, and everyone is happy and come together in community, coming from a heart space. So that comes from just ceasing to pay attention to all these distractions and recognizing that these things are being created to draw your awareness, so that you're not focusing on what you want to be experiencing. And it is diluting your power to create this beautiful utopia that you want to live in, because they're so in your face, and they get collectively more and more like in your face. They're getting stronger. They're all these things are vying for your attention, and you have to have the mental discipline to push them away, and then just watch them fall, and recognize that they pop up, but if you pull your attention away, they fall down again. They're like a cardboard thing that is geared to just, or if you're going through like a haunted house, it will pop out. It isn't real, and it will just go back to being, it's an automated thing that will pop out and scare you, and then it goes back into the wall. It's just a thing that's operating on a spring that's going to come forward. It's not really real. And so that you can think of so many ways that are out there, getting your, so many means of getting your energy. Your energy is like your energy, and it's been said, your currency is your currency. So that it is as very valuable to all of these factions who are wanting to survive and wanting to draw as much, and they are being very greedy, and they're pulling out all the stops to get all this attention, to get all this currency, all this energy that's flowing to them, that is feeding them. So, and that can be another very good deterrent for you, for yourself, is recognizing that you're feeding these things every time you focus on it, giving it your awareness. You're making it bigger. So then making the shift in your mind. Come back to focusing on this beautiful place. And so that's why I'm shown this. I'm shown this beautiful lake, beautiful mountains, clear skies. And I'm seeing now that there are homes that like humans would live in, but they're being made in cooperation with nature. So they're almost, you don't even notice them right away. They're blending. They're part of a hill. There's a home in there. There's other styles, but they're all like cooperating with nature. They're all like, and with each other. And it's a beautiful space. They're showing, like, I'm seeing all this wondrous place and
Can
all
you
this
describe it
harmony.
more? Can you describe it some more?
Yeah, I'm seeing, like, I'm seeing like hills, like homes that are built into the ground, into hills, like not underground, but into hillsides, and with them there's flowers, and beautiful flowers growing all around these hills and over the tops of them, but part of it is very open and clear, and you can see that there's nature is incorporated into these homes and into these spaces where there's like water is incorporated on a much bigger scale, where we might have like a small pond, like a small fountain. They're much bigger, and so it's like it's almost like living in a terrarium or something. That the homes themselves have their own ecosystem, and the people I'm seeing like just they're happy. They're communicating with each other lovingly, in a gentle manner. People are, yeah, they're kind of showing me like a day in the life of kind of a scenario, and I'm seeing people doing art, people of all ages with the easels, and someone like just with paper they're on the ground. Children are just drawing and happily, and adults are painting happily, and all forms of art. There's some theatrical things going on where they're just exploring and playing. And so this is a more gentle way to experiment with all of these, still feeling all the emotions that are out there that we want to experience, but in a way that's more playful. There's no, there doesn't seem to be the heaviness, the darkness. I'm not seeing any TVs. People are communicating telepathically, they, but not limited to that. I'm hearing,
Do they use light
singing.
language?
They are using light language. They are singing. They are toning. They're the whole thing, like what we might experience as like there's different instruments. Like there's singing bowls. There's others that I don't quite recognize. Other kinds of instruments, and there's people are dancing. Um, they're showing me also feasting, a lot of community events. Although there's also many opportunities to go like hiking in the mountains, for example, if you wanted solitary time. But they're showing me communal meals, communal dancing, and fun, and coming together, like coming together as one, for the greater good, and but people doing what they want to be doing.
What would you say? Could you describe some of these systems that we currently have and what they would be like wherever, whatever year you're referring to, and maybe we can get a year, maybe, or kind of an idea of what year you're talking about, and like systems like the medical systems and the financial systems and how they would be looking.
Okay, they're gonna circle back to the year. I think they're showing me more medical will be much more preventative, because it will be so much more widely known how we are projecting into we're creating disease in our bodies. And so then we will cease to do that. And there will be much more, crystals are being used much more. There are healing beds, made of crystals. There are rooms that are lined with, the walls are crystal, and they're crystalline beds and salt baths. It's a very much, and these things are to rejuvenate, to keep us strong, to keep us from miscreating in our bodies, miscreating disease. Um, the form of exchange for these things is more, it's not like a cash system, or even like a strictly like a barter system. It isn't so much like that. It's just that everything just is. It just is. If you're hungry, you go to where you can have food in a group, or you can have food on your own. There's so much more just creating, like deciding what that you want something, and then it is in front of you. It's like we're teleporting things. We are manifesting, instant manifestation. Things are happening, and people are happy and healthy. And there's and fulfilled. Like I'm just seeing like the camaraderie. People are coming together in camaraderie, and they were sharing stories. They're acting things out. They're everyone's being respected in terms of what they want to do. So if you get up in the morning and you're a child, you don't have to go off to a school. You might go to a music place or everything and play an instrument, or you might go to the art place, or you might go and learn more about the stars and connecting with other beings. And they're telling me that this is over like approximately like 2050 and beyond, that there will be, and there's all these shifts in the life expectancy also, that people will have the choice to live much longer. And and because of our new practices we're doing, we are actually have the ability to reverse the aging to the point where we want to be. And that's not locked in stone. You might decide you want to be a certain age, but then you might play from there. You might decide you want to like have the opportunity to be like a child again. There will be that opportunity, but there will also be the debilitating effects and impacts of an aging body are going to be negated because it's so much lighter. It's as if gravity is also being impacted, and we don't have that weighing downness in the same degree. Our bodies are changing, so we're not going to feel the impact of gravity as much on. It's still going to be on Earth. We're not going to float away, but it's like our bones are changing. They're not going to be as heavy. They won't be as people won't be experiencing like the cold in their bones, or their aging in their bones, like you hear it now, because they're changing too, and they're going to be experiencing more light. So we're going to be bringing in so much more light, and as the sun is there, and people will recognize not to hide from the sun, and they will know that, other than when it is at its peak, then you might want to go into your home, or might want to take a little bit of shelter. But the what's happening now, right now on the earth, like where people are wearing sunscreens and clothing and taught to be afraid of the sun, we're recognizing that we need that connection with the sun. And here, where it is now, where I'm much in the future, is it's like it is known again, like that there was like that acknowledgement, that worshiping ish of the sun, recognizing that is the giver of all life, and being so grateful and thank you. There is so much more gratitude here. Thank you. And that feeling of being, extending that out to the others around you, just that gratitude straight from the heart, and you can see and feel like it's just everything is like thriving, and the animals, and we have so much more connection here with our fur guides, and so much more respect with them, that you wouldn't see anything like somebody shooing an animal away from the food. They're If they want to partake, they're invited to partake of the food. Um, and with the medical is so different too, because it's something that you're simply being inviting your body to come back to that place of perfection. So it's not, needles and vaccines and that sort of thing is not it's so it's gone, it's long gone, it's long gone. They're saying like it's like night and day. It's like the days where before it was recognized that you should wash your hands between patients if you're a doctor. The back in the day when that was laughed at, and that it's that much of a or more. It's like we can barely conceive of what it's going
Mm.
to be. They're sharing me that, but they're telling me that you're going to love it. You're going to love this. And then so many, even in our walking around on the earth right now, will be experiencing that. And as we're able to turn back the tides and undo the wear and tear on our physicalities, we may choose to be around for hundreds of years if that is our choice.
Mm.
But also we can also choose to not. If we can also recognize that, and death will be less of a stigma. It will be not something that people grieve so much because everyone has this new understanding of it. So if one passes, we know that they're still with us, and so we aren't grieving them, and so they're not being held back. They're able to get on to their next adventure and to continue on. And we know that we can still connect with them, even if they've chosen to go to another planet and explore life there. So the experiment, talking about the experiment, that will be continuing in different ways, because there will be some who still want the adventure of going and being part of populating a new planet and living out the experiment, but in different ways. It's like you have these new powers as if you were like a character in a Mario game, and you've gotten these additional powers along the way. And so now you're able to leap tall buildings, single bound kind of. You're able to do all these things. So now, how do you navigate this game? Recognizing that they are games, they are, and that you do have all these latent abilities and these superpowers, and as we're coming to recognize them and to accept them, and not to be told we're mentally off balance if we think that we can telepathically communicate with our pets, with our loved ones, that we can communicate with our body and encourage it to heal or respond to a certain medication or vitamin, or we can do a lot of these things now, but we're sort of talked out of it, and we're giving our power away to these things that you mentioned, to like the doctors, the medical, the banks in particular, where we give everything away, give everything, all of our power away. All that power is there for the reclaiming of it. Just simply choose it. That can be chosen now, and the more, as more and more people do choose that, to take that back, and to just say that oh, this is a choice that I'm making. But to stay, like, to commit to that and not be pulled into all of the distractions, all of the drama that is created solely to trick you into splintering your power, splintering it off, and giving it to all these different factions that are calling you. And in the meantime, you're giving your own self away. So we need to focus on your own true self, focusing on your heart, calling on your higher selves, your higher selves. They're always there. They're always trying to get through the noise. There's so much noise currently on the planet. So they're showing me again all this beautiful, beautiful living at one with nature, recognizing that nature is who we are also. And we're closing ourselves off from that with our paving everything. I don't see any pavement anywhere. There is none. There aren't sidewalks. That there aren't roads. The nature is loved and respected and not paved over. Like that is just such a abhorrent idea that they're like, that doesn't happen. They don't do that. If it doesn't work with nature, then it doesn't happen. They come up with another alternate way, because why would you fight against who you really are? We are nature. So all these things are changing. All these belief systems are gaining more of a toehold, and it is growing, and it is like a grassroots, because it's not something that you're going to see like on the news. You're not going to see these ideas because they don't want you to have these ideas. So you will find them in smaller ways, but people are naturally coming into community more and wanting to share what they have more and more. And that's becoming the norm on your earth. As we're showing you from where you're going, we're also showing you where it is, and there's so much more happening than you are aware of, because it is being kept from you. It's like those who have the ability to decide what you're seeing and what you aren't don't want you to know these ideas. They don't want you to have these thoughts. They're very much opposed to that. So their whole agenda is to prevent that. That's the role that they're playing in this experiment, this game. They too will, end their time on Earth, and these ideas will fall by the wayside. So we spoke lightly before of the timelines and this experiment, how it's shifting, and how some are going forward, some are staying put, they're still like maybe on the fence, and some who are not wanting to take that step forward. They are content with the way things are. They don't want these shifts for their own reasons. So they're going to stay where they are for now. Every soul is eternal, and every soul will always have the opportunity to come to the light and to have this that we are showing you here, this opportunity to live in love and truth and light. But there's also the choice. You have free will. You can stay in the dark. Just also know that you have this free will, but also be on guard. Guard your light. Guard this vision that you want to create. Guard against more trickery and more subtle distractions. They can be very subtle, but they are still pulling your energy. They're still pulling it down. So tuning into your heart, following what your heart is saying more and more, more and more. Check in. What's my heart say? What am I feeling for this? Really listen for your intuition. Listen to your gut, listen to your heart. Not so much the mind, the computer. Stay there. And if you're feeling like that sinking feeling, then that's your cue to, if you do want to have this utopia, this 5D, stay there. Don't let anything pull you down. If you feel that pulling down, stop. Sever that. There's a cord there that's pulling you. It's pulling your attention, it's pulling you, and it's siphoning your energy. It is drawing your energy from you. So you will feel this in your body. You will feel weakened. You will feel more of these aches, these pains. You won't feel the resilience that is available to you. You won't feel this vibrant energy that is available to you. And then you will manifest those which you do not wish to experience.
Thank you. I love that. I feel like that is a perfect place to um, complete the the session. Um, Thank you for another amazing transmission.
We we thank you for this opportunity, and we always love to be a part of this exchange.
Yes, most definitely. Always. So I'm gonna go ahead and